Good morning, everyone. Today is Thursday, April 16th, 2020. And as I always tell my classes on Thursdays, I've never been so happy to see a Thursday in all my life. But nonetheless, I hope you all are having a good morning thus far. We are not going to waste any more time. We are going to go ahead and get started. As you can see, we have an agenda for today, and that agenda will be reviewing text structures, different types of sentences, and sentence structure. Okay, do not confuse the types of sentences with sentence structure. We'll get into that momentarily. Okay. Um, and as you can see here, I wrote, if you find yourself feeling or getting discouraged, please watch my video on my channel. I made a video yesterday. It was about maybe 3-4 minutes long. And it was just simply to encourage, you all to keep fighting the good fight. Again, I know with Auntie Rona and Uncle Virus, I know there is a lot going on. And I know that some of us feel maybe defeated. Some of us may even feel like, what's even the point? But the video that I made yesterday, it is, to encourage you and to, let you know that we're going to get through this and we are going to triumph and champion through it. And as we always do with everything that we do. So just understand that you have people that are not only praying for you, but you also have people that are praying against you. And um, what a better time to let them know that, hey, even though we got all this stuff going on, I know that I am going to make it. Okay. All right. So, and by the way, one more thing. I noticed that sometimes the sound quality can go in and out. I have a microphone um somewhere, and and I just don't know where it is. Oh, sorry, y'all. I don't know if y'all can see the chat, but if you can or cannot, hold on one second. Bloopers. Okay, so check your. Okay. All right. So we had a little technical difficulty, so hopefully we'll get the audio and stuff situated. All right. But yeah, so again, please go and watch that video if you feel a little discouraged or if you're feeling down in the dumps, and because I understand that there's a lot going on. But as always, we're gonna get through it. Just as I am going to get through it, you will get through it too. All right, so let's go ahead and begin with the review of text structures. So this is what I would like for you to do. Um, Students, if you can take yourselves off of mute, I just want to know if you all can see the text structure worksheet. So let me know if you can see it by saying yes.
Yes.
Okay, I got one yes.
Yes.
Okay, and I know one of my other students is having trouble with the audio, so hopefully she can at least see the video. I hope. But anywho, this is what I want you all to do. I want you all to just do numbers 1, 2, and 3. I want you to read. Excuse me. I want you to read. If you can see 1 through 5, that's fine. But I want you just to do 1, 2, and 3. Now, if you're feeling, extra confident, which I hope you all are after our lesson of check structures of yesterday, you can go ahead and do 4 and 5. But I just want you to read these and I want you to identify the text structure, okay? And if you need a little refresher really, really quick, I can scroll up And you have chronological, which is the timeline. You also have sequence, which is an ordered text structure. Now remember, chronological and sequence, they fall under the same thing. They're both sequential. However, timelines deal with dates and numbers, whereas sequence deals with just ordered things in order, like first step, second step, third step, things like that. Okay. Cause and effect. Remember, we talked about yesterday how cause and effect, you have the effect is what happened, and the cause is why it happened. Okay. So that's what the cause and effect is. Problem and solution. That's self-explanatory. The problem is the situation, the solution is the outcome. Not to be confused again with cause and effect. And finally, we have compare and contrast, where you have two things that are alike, two things that are different. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and kind of scroll down. Okay, I'll leave that up right there. All right, so I just want you all to identify the text structure. Okay, so I'm going to give you all about maybe 10 minutes to read each paragraph, and I want you to just identify the text structure. Be prepared to prove your point and prove your case, because you know I have to have proof to know that you know what you're doing. All right, so I will go ahead and um, put myself on mute, and I will cut my camera off to give you all some time to work on this, and I will be right back after these commercial messages. Don't you go changing. All right. How are we faring along, y'all? Are we still working and or are we ready?
Still working.
Okay.
I'm done.
All right. Okay. So Miss Brittany, what I'll do is I'm going to give you another 3 minutes. And remember, this is just, just a review of what we did yesterday. So, excuse me. So just know that, we're going to go over these. So if you don't finish, it's totally okay. I just want to see and make sure that you understand the different types of text structures and how to identify them. Okay. So I'll give you another 2, 3 minutes to finish up, and then we're going to go over the answers, and then we're going to review the different types of sentences and sentence structures. Okay. So my goal is if I can finish, I would say I got started a little late, but if I can finish this, eh, like maybe 10:05, that'll be good. So because I have to prepare for the next class, and so I just want to give myself some time to do that. Um, but yes, so if you have finished, I know Miss Tiffany, you said you finished. If you have finished, I want you to think about review to yourselves very quickly the 4 types of sentences and the 4 types of sentence structures. So they're 2 different entities. Okay, so I want you to think about that, and I'll come back within the next 2 minutes. All right, and we are back. We're back. We're back. We're back. All right. So now we're going to go ahead and review the text structure assignment. For anybody that's watching the playback, please make sure that you watch the previous video as it relates to text structure, so that way you can understand this particular assignment. All right. So number one, what is the answer to number one? What text structure is number one representing?
I had selected compare and contrast because they was comparing the two groups of Americans, the patriots and the loyalists.
Yes, ma'am. That is absolutely positively correct. That's the key word to let you know that you are that this is talking about comparing and contrasting. So let me change this here. Uh, all right. Okay, so for number one, you should have compare and contrast. Okay. All right. Let me move this up so that way y'all can see it. All right. So number one is compare and contrast. All right. Number two.
Number two, I got problem and solution because the problem was they was losing the battle. Oh no, the problem was their freedom, and the solution was to join together and win the war.
Okay. Excuse me. Need some more water. Uh, okay. Now, I see, and remember, Miss Hampton has bad eyes, so if you see me squinting, don't be judging me. Just pray that I get some new eyes. Okay. Um, it says there were many important battles in the Revolutionary War, but perhaps none were more important than the battles of Saratoga. Okay, the results of the battles of Saratoga shifted the momentum of the war for the Americans. Now, remember, when we're dealing with something as the problem and solution as it relates to the text structure, what did you say the problem was again, Miss Tiffany? I'm
The
trying to see.
problem to me was their freedom, so they wanted to be free. They didn't
Okay.
want to have to work under the British government and rules, I guess.
Okay. So I want you to keep that thought because I was getting ready to ask you a question. Why was that a problem?
Well, I know why it was a problem. It was a problem about the taxes.
Ah, but you missed what I said.
Oh, why? I don't know. Somebody else could chime in. I've got to be the only one talking.
Well, you know, I mean, well, let me just say this.
I ain't gonna say I don't know, but
No. But remember, if you don't know, you can simply say I don't know. That is an answer, and it suffices. I would rather you say I don't know than to not say anything. But I get it. You know, I really do. It's still early in the morning, and so I'm not gonna press the gas on it. I'm not today. Next week is another week though, but I'm not gonna press the gas on it today. This is the word I want you to look at. Results.
mm-hmm.
The key word here is results. The results of the battles of Saratoga shifted during the momentum of the war towards the Americans. Now, the reason why is not problem and solution because you actually answered your own question when I said why. So the key word here, when I said why, and then you said because, that should have that lets you know that this is not so much as a problem and solution, but this is cause and effect. See? Now, keep that in mind though, because like I said, a lot of people they do confuse cause and effect with problem and solution. Now, even me, I know I should have everything, boom, boom, boom. But, I'm human and I make mistakes too. So, sometimes it's a hit and a miss for me sometimes. But number two, this thing right here. Okay. So number two, the answer is actually cause and effect. All right. Boop. Oh, that got nice. Okay. All right. Now, number three. What's the answer for number three?
Cause and effect.
Why is it cause and effect?
Oh, no. Maybe it's problem and solution.
Now, that one is problem and solution. I know that these are the two that people really get confused at. Even when I was learning about these different text structures, I would get them confused. But now that I'm an English teacher, it makes sense. Because remember, with cause and effect, what happened and why did it happen? Problem and solution is something happened, but what was the outcome? What was the resolution behind it? With cause and effect, there's not necessarily a resolution behind it. You just want to know what happened and why did it happen. If that makes any sense.
Mm-hmm.
Just like when we eat up all the quarantine snacks, you know what I mean? And somebody's like, why did you eat all the quarantine snacks? Because I was hungry. But if you say all the quarantine snacks have been eaten, right? The solution would be to go to the store and get some more and not be greedy and eat all the quarantine snacks. So do you see the difference between the cause and effect versus the problem and solution?
Mm-hmm.
So and I keep talking, we always talk about food. We always be hungry in my class. But nonetheless, again, problem and solution is a situation. And the situation has a desired outcome versus cause and effect. Something happened, but why did it happen? What was the effects of it happen? Like what was the background of what happened, if that makes any sense.
Everybody was dying.
Right.
And so they had to create the guerrilla warfare.
Yes. And by the way, I just want to put this out there. Guerrilla warfare has nothing to do with monkeys fighting. I just want to put that out there. For anybody that was thinking that.
Okay.
Okay. Because that's a different guerrilla. See, that's homophones. Now, I do have a lesson on homophones. So if you are interested in that, please let me know. For anybody that's watching this playback, if you are interested in homonyms, homophones, and homographs, please feel free to let me know in the comment section, and I'll be more than happy to share that with you. All right. Now, I only wanted y'all to do 1, 2, and 3. So we're not going to worry about number 4, and there is a number 5. But
I did number 4, and it was sequence.
And you are absolutely right. Easy. It sure was. It sure was. I'm gonna go ahead and put it because you said it. And I'm gonna put it up. There we go. How do we know that sequence?
Because it's step-by-step directions on how to make fire cakes.
Yeah, I don't know. Does that sound like something y'all would cook? Fire cakes? That don't sound.
Nobody wants burnt gluten. I'm straight.
Right. I mean, it doesn't sound appealing. But if we put some sugar on top of it or some butter or something, we'll probably eat it.
But if that's all you had to eat.
Right. I mean, you had to survive. I mean, hopefully we don't get to that point now dealing with Auntie Rona and Uncle Virus where we have to make fire cakes. I hope not.
I'd rather eat the fire cakes than the worms like they be doing on The Walking Dead.
They eat worms?
They have.
Man, yeah, I'd rather be a vegan. Don't even worry about it. I'm not even touching that. But all right. So, do y'all have any questions about this little warm up right here? We good? How do we feel about this? Do we feel like we understand text structures better? Do we feel like I got it, Miss Hampton? Woo woo woo. Or is it like I think I need a little more practice? Not all at once.
I believe I have it.
Oh, okay. Hey, Miss Victoria.
Hi.
Okay. Well, I'm glad that everything, because I know we had a little snafu, but I'm glad everything is fixed and worked out for you. I'm so happy to hear your lovely voice and hope everything is good with you and your family.
Thank you. Same as
Yes,
you.
yes, ma'am. No problem at all. Brittany, are you good?
Yes.
All right, y'all. We're gonna go ahead and hurry up and wrap this thing up and put a little pretty bow on it. All right, so next. Now, why did I do that? All right, I'm sorry. I don't know why. Okay, I know why I did that. I know why. All right. Remember now. Types of sentences. Now, remember, when I say types of sentences, I'm not talking about a sentence structure. That's something totally different. So, really? All right. So, who can give me a type of sentence? Let me see. 2, 3.
Declarative.
Yes, ma'am. You are. Where I put 5? Yes, ma'am. Declarative. Can somebody tell me what a declarative sentence is?
A statement.
It is simply a statement. Okay. And what is the ending punctuation with that?
A period.
Exclamation mark.
No, that's for something else, but it ends with a period. So, example. I always like to give examples because that's what I do. I love my class, which I do. I really do love y'all, and I hope y'all know that. That is a statement. I love my class. They are wonderful. That's just a statement, and I mean that because I really do. All right. So the second type of sentence is, now that we got that out the way,
Interrogative.
interrogative. I hope I spelled that right. It looks right. It should be right. What is that?
A question.
A question. And it ends with a
question mark.
A question mark. All righty then. All right. So an example. Well, I can't type though. Why I put examples and I only gave one? All right. What are you doing? Who is that? Where you going? Why are you looking like that? So those are questions for anybody that just wanted to know. All right. The next type of sentence is a
exclamatory.
Okay, exclamatory. All right. What kind of sentence is that?
I believe it's like an excitement.
Yes, ma'am. Uh-oh. Sentence. I'll put shows excitement. Now, Miss Tiffany, this one ends in an exclamation mark. Shows excitement. Okay, and it ends with an exclamation mark. I knew that was gonna happen. I knew that was gonna happen. I knew it. Come on, man. Okay, there we go. All right. Oh, Lord. All right. All right. An example of that would be, I don't know. Oh, I got it. Um, we won the game. If I can type right, we won the game. All right. And last but not least, my personal favorite is
Imperative.
imperative. Now, as we all know, we all have, um, you know, people that like to boss us around and try to tell us what to do, aka parents, when we're coming up. So an imperative sentence is a sentence that does what?
A request or command.
Gives a request, well, gives a command or request. And now this sentence is ended with a period also. All right. So no, ends with a period. So an example. Man, oh, I need to learn how to type. All right. Uh, go home. We already at home. Where else are we going? So these are all types of sentences. Okay. Now, of course, the goal is for us to expand the sentence structures. Okay. And when I say sentence structure, that's the way that we write these sentences. So there are 4 ways that we can write sentences. Now, again, do not get this confused for anybody that's watching the playback. Do not get this confused with types of sentences. Okay. So you can have sentences that make statements. You have sentences that are questions. You have sentences that show excitement, and you have sentences that give a command or request. Now, how you write those sentences is the sentence structure. All right. So I'm gonna go here. All right. And again, this is from a previous lesson that I have already done with my class. So was really no sense in me erasing anything and rewriting it. A simple sentence. So can everybody see that? Do I need to make that bigger?
Okay.
It's okay?
Yes.
Oh, okay, okay. Now, we talked about this particular sentence because this is a sentence. Can anybody tell me why this is a sentence? Why is this a sentence? Psst, the answer is right here.
The subject of the verb.
Yes, thank you, Miss Brittany. So remember that a lot of people would say that's not a sentence because it only has 2 words. But as long as you have a subject and a verb, it constitutes as a sentence. So we danced is a sentence. Now, of course, it doesn't give a lot of details as to say where we danced at or who we danced with or how we danced, but nonetheless, this is a sentence. So I just want to encourage you, please don't write your essay with 2-worded sentences. Like yeah, let's not do that. We have to give details and we have to explain and we have to, use vocabulary that is understanding to what we're trying to get our point across with. So in essence, this is a sentence, but I would not encourage you to write your essay with we danced, he played, she laughed, we cried. Like, let's not do that. All right. All right, so I just want you all to look at these examples of simple sentences. A simple sentence is exactly what it says and what Miss Brittany said. It has a subject and a verb. That's it. All right. The baby cried for food. Now that's a short sentence too, but it gives a little detail. Don't really focus on the details so much. Just make sure that you at least have a subject and a verb. That's what's important. All right. Um, and they have some other examples there as well. So I'll give you all a quick second to read that. And then we're going to move forward with compound sentences. Okay, and again, anybody that is watching the playback, we are discussing the types of sentence structures. Okay, and there are 4 of them, and they are at the top of this screen right here. Ta-da! All right. So the next type of sentence structure is a compound sentence. And a compound sentence is simply exactly what it says. A compound sentence has 2 independent clauses. What in the world is an independent clause? Do, 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 do. Now remember,
An
if you
independent clause can stand on its own.
yes, because it's independent. Yes, so an independent clause is simply a sentence. So you have an independent clause that is a sentence, and you have a dependent clause that is a fragment, but we'll get to that momentarily. All right. Basically, a compound contains 2 simple sentences, and there is a conjunction. Okay. So if you do not remember what a conjunction is, and this is for, not only my students, but for the people that's watching the playback, I have provided a playlist of all of the 8 parts of speech via Schoolhouse Rock. So please make sure that you go to my YouTube channel and you watch that, okay? And it has they're like 2-3 minute videos, and they're very quick, they're very fun, and lots of animation. Schoolhouse Rock rocks. So if you forgot what a conjunction was, it's basically a word that connects two phrases, sentences, connects things together. But if you want more information, please check out the playlist. Okay. All right. So I'm going to scroll down just a little bit here. All right, there we go. So remember, compound sentences is when you connect 2 independent clauses together, okay? Sometimes you can connect it with a conjunction. Well, it is connected with a conjunction, okay? And that's fanboys, or, and, nor, but, or, yet so, fanboys. Those are the 7 most common used conjunctions. All right. Now, next, we have a complex sentence. The word complex, well, when you think of the word complex, what do you think that means? Does it mean hard? Does it mean difficult? Does it mean challenging?
I think it's like challenging.
Okay. Well, the good news is these sentences are not challenging. So that's the good news. But it's complex in the sense that it has a independent clause and a dependent clause. Okay. So remember, a dependent clause cannot stand alone, just like a dependent. Okay. Come tax time and people have children, they have to file their kids under their taxes. Why? Because they're taking care of them. They're dependents. Okay. Independent, you can stand alone. You don't need any help. Okay. So an example that we have here, and I want to make sure that everybody can see the example here. Okay. And you see that we've already, like I said, we've already done this in a previous class, but I'm glad that I saved it. And that you can see that we underlined our dependent clause, which is first, and then we have an independent clause. Okay. Now, because dependent clauses need a little help, what punctuation helps the dependent clause? Anybody remember?
A comma.
A comma. There we go. Just in case y'all can't see that, that's a comma. All right. So when dependent clauses come first in a complex sentence, it needs a comma. Okay. It needs a comma, and then you have your independent clause here. Now, sometimes the independent clause can come first, but it doesn't need a comma. Why does it not need a comma? Because it's independent. It doesn't need any help. Make sense? Of course. I mean, it's come on, makes sense. All right. All right. So the example here, we said opinionated women are given disadvantages in societies that privilege males accomplishments. Sorry, I know I can't see. Opinionated women are given disadvantages in societies that privilege male accomplishments. That don't make any sense. But anyway, so as you can see here, opinionated women are given disadvantages. That's an independent clause because it can stand alone. It doesn't need any help. Now, or in societies, that's an independent clause. It doesn't need any help. Well, if we were to say that privileged male accomplishments, that needs a little help. So that's the reason why that is first. I'm sorry, that the independent clause is first and then the dependent clause is second. Okay. So does that make sense, class?
Yes.
Okay, wonderful. All right, Miss Tiffany, Miss Brittany, y'all still with me? Or they probably just sitting quietly. Okay. And don't worry, we're really almost done. We really are. All right. So I have one more slide here. Then we're gonna do some work, and that's gonna be that. All right. Now we have a compound complex sentence. So of course, all of these sentences are self-explanatory. So it's basically when we put a compound sentence with a complex sentence. So in essence, you're probably going to have a lot of independent clauses, and more than likely a dependent clause is going to be somewhere along the lines. Okay. Now these sentences can be long. They're not run-on sentences. If you use your punctuations properly and you use the correct punctuation, then it will not be a run-on sentence. However, if you know, like 5-year-olds, how they just talk, and they don't take a pause, they don't take a break. They want you to know everything all at once. 5-year-olds are the masterminds of run-on sentences. But we'll get into that another day. All right, so compound complex sentences has 2 independent clauses and at least 1 dependent clause. Okay, so we have an example here. After the 2 soccer players lost their game, they joined their other teammates for lunch and they went to the movies. And I know it sounds long, like, oh my God, they didn't take a break, they didn't do anything. But after the 2 soccer players lost their game, is that an independent clause or a dependent clause? Do, 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 do. Do, 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 do. Well, the answer is after the 2 soccer players lost their game, that is a dependent clause. It is a dependent clause because it has a comma at the end of it. So that's the dependent clause. And let me go to red. They joined their other teammates for lunch and went to the movies. That is the independent clause. Okay. All right. Then we have another example here. It says the man believed in the system and he knew that that justice would prevail after the murderer was sent to jail. Okay. The man believed in the system and he knew that justice would prevail after the murderer was sent to jail. So this is actually the independent clause coming first. I don't know why I didn't or in the first place. But all of this right here would be the the independent clause because we have a conjunction, which is and. And after the murderer was sent to jail, that would be the dependent clause. So remember, it can go either way. You can have your dependent clause first, but make sure you have a comma at the end, or you can have your independent clause first with no comma and then your dependent clause. Okay, so consider this the ticket out the door. For the people that's watching the playback, your assignment is this as well. Uh-oh. All right, so I want you all to work on numbers 1, 2, and 3. That's the only thing I want you to work on. I want you to actually 1, 2, 3, and 4. I'm gonna do half. If you're watching the playback, do all of them. Okay, so want you to do numbers 1, 2, 3, and 4. I'm going to give you all 10 minutes. All you have to do is just identify what kind of sentences these are. Okay, so I'm going to give you all about 10 minutes to work on 1, 2, 3, and 4. We're going to go over those, and then we're going to wrap this guy up, put a pretty little bow on it. Okay, so as always, I'll be right back after these commercial messages. All right, everybody. Let's go ahead and knock all of these things out. All right. So give me the answer to number 1.
I got compound.
Yeah, I think you're right. It is compound. Sure enough is. Speaking of compound, let's see, I was thinking about a pound cake. Don't worry about it. Okay, number 2, what's the answer?
I got complex.
Okay, complex, that's interesting. The student wiped the board that was filthy with last week's notes.
Oh, I'm not sure why I put that there. I think that's simple.
Yeah, it's more simple. I would think it's simple. All right, number 3, the trendy fashion designer released her new line on Wednesday.
Simple.
Yeah, that's very, very simple. And number 4, Trina and Haroon went to a bar in Hollywood to celebrate their anniversary.
It's pretty simple.
Simple?
Or it can be complex.
To be honest, I would venture to say that is, um, I think it's simple. And a lot of people would say, "Oh my God, it's not simple. It's compound." So this calls for a conversation, but I'll let the playback people think about that. All right. So for all the playback people, the good news is half the work is done for you, sort of, kind of. The other good news is that you can do the rest on your own. All right, for practice purposes. All right. So again, this was, just a quick review over sentence structure, how to put a little language in there today. I think we did really good this week. We've done social studies this week. We've done reading, and we've done some language arts for today. We did not do any science, but I'm working on some science stuff for you all. So hopefully I can have that to you all next week. But in the meantime, in between time, you all can watch those nice little playbacks. And you can watch my GED playlist. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and stop this share. Do you all have any questions about today's lesson? How was today's lesson? I know, it's early in the morning and it's Thursday and we're just like, but I really do appreciate you all's willingness to come to class and to, to get what you need to get. Okay, I really do appreciate you all. All right. So, are there any final thoughts? Any questions?
Not for me.
Okay. Well, again, it is now 10:15, and we are going to go ahead and end this session for this week. We made it through our first week of virtual English class. Woo! Thank you, Lord. Now, remember, I get it. I understand. Need more time. Need this. I'm working. All right. I'm working on it. So, just give me some time. And for the people that are watching the playback, again, I encourage you, please make sure that you watch the video in its full entirety and get the information, get the lessons, get everything that you need, because I want you all to be successful, and you will be successful. All right. So with all of that being said, I pray that you all have a wonderful rest of the day. I pray that you all have a wonderful and blessed weekend. Please be safe and don't hurt nobody, because I need y'all. Okay, need y'all here. All right. So all that being said, I will see you beautiful people on next week.
Bye.
Bye. Have a good weekend.
You too.